ridden using the Jeffries method. I didn't show a whole lot of training using the Jeffries method, so if you want to see some better videos of it, I have more in my Training Mustang Jude playlist. But basically this method gets her comfortable with me moving around on her back and being a presence up there. It's important to notice how I'm not tiptoeing around Luna. You can see how I just hop right on up there. If your horse isn't ready for that, they're not ready to be sat on or to be ridden. So this was the very first time I ever sat on Luna. As you can tell, I have this stupid happy smile on my face because I was really proud of her and of myself for coming so far in just 4 days out of the BLM holding pens. Make sure not to push it by hopping right down as soon as I think she's comfortable. So when she moves around like she does, I don't try and keep her in the same spot necessarily. I just try and keep my weight centered, try and keep from accidentally kicking her or sliding off balance. But I just let her move around so long as she's comfortable. I keep her nose bent around towards me so that she can't completely bolt off. Here's a little more desensitizing in preparation for her first saddling. She should be comfortable with me moving things all around her and touching her all over before I ever try and put a piece of tack on her. So this was the very first time I ever put the bareback pad with the girth on her. As you can tell, she's not really sure what to think of it at first. Most horses think it feels a little weird. You can see she's kind of hunching her back a little bit, doesn't know what to think of it. But overall, not a terrible reaction. I like to use this bareback pad to get them used to a girth before I put a saddle on, because it makes the process more gradual and less overwhelming for them. So this was her first saddling with my lightweight treeless saddle. Like I said, I like to keep it gradual, so I don't throw my big heavy saddle on her right away. I start her off with a treeless one that's a lot easier to carry and a lot less stimulating. As you can see, she's a little more comfortable carrying this one now that she's gotten used to the girth and the bareback pad. So this was later that week, after working with her on saddling for a few days and introducing her to my heavier Western saddle.
Even though I know her backing up is just like I'm shifting my weight.
Yeah.
So right now I'm just desensitizing her to me standing up in one stirrup. I keep my weight as far over as I can but I'm still able to bail if she flips. I just wait till she's standing still to hop down and reward her. I repeat this many times until I'm sure she's completely fine seeing me on top of her, and then, like it's no big deal, I just get up and swing a leg over. I keep her nose flexed around me so that instead of taking off, if she gets scared, she can just turn in a tight circle and I can keep it contained. But I make sure not to sit still and try and avoid spooking her. I just act natural and move around and pet on her and let her know it's going to be okay. So this was the very next day. I wanted to start asking her for steps under saddle. I start by getting right on, patting her, bouncing up into the saddle, making a bit of noise so that when she starts moving out under saddle, these things don't spook her. I start by asking her to yield her hindquarters. This is one of the very first things I teach on the ground and the very first thing I teach under saddle. So I just ask with my heel and I cluck until she does what I want to, and then I release and pat on her and let her know she did the right thing.
Tomorrow,
Yeah.
and then right after dark we can work on it.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Like that? Now, let me make sure she's cool with this, because these are going to be probably what I'm using to get her to move forwards a little bit.
Yeah.
Just do a little more yielding. You're such a good girl. That's what I do to make sure she doesn't freak out.
Whenever you start trotting, yeah.
Oh yeah, AKA Jude.
Oh no. Do you want me to take a live video for you or nah?
Nah. I'd rather have this to compile for YouTube.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
For the YouTube.
For the YouTube, I'm an influencer.
I'm an influencer. But yeah, you're right. Good. Not bad. Not bad. You're such a good pony.
She doing so good.
Just a pony. I love that voice. That is my favorite voice.
Just a pony.
You're just a little dog. You're just a puppy dog. Might take her away from the fence. It's not bad. Toonie.
So basically what I'm doing right now is yielding her hindquarters until she has the idea to start moving out. You can see her start crossing over right there. So I reward her for that.
So what are you trying to get her to do?
I'm trying to like play around with her feet till she takes a step forwards.
Oh,
Kind of
okay.
like
While
when you
still
teach
yielding
them to
her?
lead, you like pedal them around side to side and then take a step forwards, you release.
Got you.
I find it's a lot more. Some horses you get on and you're like, let's go, and they're like, oh, walking, I understand this.
Yeah.
You know, some horses are like, I think you want me to stand still. You're on my back, right? Like, this is not normal.
Okay,
So I'm
got
just
you.
like playing around a little bit.
Yeah.
Ideally, she'll walk out into a small, tight circle.
Got you.
With feet moving forwards. That's what I'm working on towards. There we go.
Yay!
So you can see now I've started to put pressure on her from behind with the end of my lead rope. I'm just tapping on her hindquarters a little bit, see if I can get a little momentum going and see if she wants to step out a little bit. I ended up cutting this ride a little short just because it was getting too dark, but she did end up giving me some good steps forward that day.
Better.
So this was, I believe, the very next day. After you get their feet moving forwards a little bit, they gain a lot of confidence and things run smoothly from there. I was just pushing her to do a few laps around the round pen before I ended my ride.
Come on. One more lap.
So this was Luna by the end of her second ride or so. She was becoming a pretty confident horse. In my next video, I'll show you her first trot and her first lope under saddle. So stay tuned.